trust in me. I can, you said I can trust in you.
What up though, it's your girl CC and we're back with another video. Yeah, I'm just so happy that we are continuing this, and what is this, like the third video, official video and whatnot. Like, high five, because we keeping it going. All right, so proud of myself. Anyway, we are here to talk about confidence, talk about self-esteem. I know that is a struggle across the board for a lot of people, including myself. And it's real crazy though, how much of a struggle in certain areas. I'm not gonna say everybody in every area deals with something, but it might be something that you might be doubtful about yourself or could just improve on in an area. And I got some tips for y'all so that we can all just continue to grow in this, because that's what we're doing on this channel. We come here to get advice. We come here to commune against one another, and that's it, right? Come together with one another and, you know, support one another so that we can all continue to evolve. As far as like my journey with confidence, honestly, and if I could be quite honest, even though most people think now that like, oh, she just comes in the room and she's this, and this, and she's doing X, Y, and Z. She was just with Miss Michigan in 2023, and she got her own business, and she models, update, and she does X, Y, like all these different things, and she's just like, oh, and she's beautiful and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, majority of the stuff I do, you're gonna be scared. And that's just what it is. I'd be scared. I'd be terrified. I honestly, if you haven't caught any of the other videos and it's your first time, you would know that I suffer with anxiety. I don't like to claim it because we gotta get that off me, but diagnosis-wise, like severe anxiety, and at one point it was depression and whatnot, but definitely anxiety, like when it comes down to different things and trying to handle it. I have gotten better, but it's still in me. In some areas, some things I'm like, ooh, a little hesitant to do. And something that's just something I like grew up with, struggling with. And I'm at the point where I didn't put a lot of the tips I'm gonna share with y'all today that have helped me get to where I'm at, but it's been a long journey. That's what it is. But the thing is, and what most people need to continue to realize, is that confidence is something you have to practice. Some people got it like that, and that's cool for them. But for the ones that's like, ooh, I'm a little hesitant to do things, or need to build themselves inwardly so that they can shine outwardly, you got to practice. It's like a muscle, and you got to keep working on it until you get these gains. You feel me? So yeah, we just gonna get into it. So I know this is gonna lead me into my first thing, but you know, a lot of the times we can be so hard on ourselves, so negative, and that just being in a thought in our mind, and that's a lot of our downfall most of the time. That's like, oh dang, you be your biggest enemy. And if you really got like control over your own thing, your own voice in the back of your head that keep trying to tell you like you can't do certain things, or you not a certain way, or you can't be X, Y, and Z, then we be good. So you know sorry, like, we'll be good. So the first thing we need to check ourselves on, and I know I'm a big person for this, this is a big thing for me, is being hard on yourself. So implementing positive self-talk, them affirmations, those just things that you say nicely to yourself to go against anything that you internally might say to yourself, it's gonna be your best thing for you to do, and hard to do, because you got to be able to catch it when it comes down to it. And sometimes you don't realize you do it so much, and you might have to have somebody to, like, accountability person to be like, hey, if you hear me saying something negative about myself, you know, make me, you know, catch me on it or whatever else. But like a lot of times you have to basically in that moment stop yourself. Like, you could be like, dang, you looking at so-and-so, you might not realize you comparing yourself, and you like, dang, I wish I had those shoes, or I wish I looked like so-and-so, and you got to be like, no, you know, I will get those shoes someday, and those shoes will definitely look good on me. Eventually I'll get them. Eventually it will happen, and when I do, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna turn this up, and then it is what it is. And you gotta like reframe your mind about a lot of the things you say in the moment. And sometimes, like I said, it's hard, because in the moment you like, the thought just like bloop all the way around, and you just like, you sometimes don't catch it. So pay attention, because that's gonna be your biggest thing in all of this. Reframing your mind in the moment with some positive thoughts, and then saying, like, in the mornings and stuff like that, affirmations, so that you can continue to speak life into yourself. And when I say power is in the tongue, like, it definitely is. And there is a negative entity, aka the devil, whatever else, like, that's gonna keep trying to talk you down, keep trying to tell you that you can't, and that is his job. You gotta fight it back. We gotta put the gloves on and be like, I am so-and-so, and I am X, Y, and Z, and who are you to tell me that I ain't? And it's just, it is that simple. It can be a challenge, because like I said, if you ain't used to doing it, then you gotta practice doing it. But eventually it does get easy, and you just become talking around people, and you just be like, I am X, Y, and Z, and what about it? So, you know, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The next thing that you can do for yourself, my bad, I had to get my notebook, is self-care. Just did another video, the last video on self-care. Drop some tips on that. Putting that love back into you will build the confidence you need about yourself. So if that comes down to maybe, you hear her walking upstairs, sorry. Maybe you need confidence in just being alone in a season. Maybe you need confidence in your looks, or confidence just building certain things about you when you like investing into yourself. And like I said, that can be in different ways: spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the different things that you need to invest in yourself. That can happen through self-care. That's something you can incorporate into your everyday life, and it'll help you just continue to like fill your cup, so you can be that person to give and whatever else that you need to do. For me, a lot of my stuff is to improve my like everyday self, I guess, mentally for me, so I can stay afloat. But right now I've been kind of like focusing on like trying things and putting things out there just to get to know myself more, and to like push myself in different areas. And like I said, I've dealt with anxiety, so a lot of my things that I do, it's just like going out and trying things. And then I started making a whole TikTok thing hopefully doesn't get banned, but I moved it to Instagram too. But like doing videos, just showcasing me trying different things. So, you know, go check that out. But yeah, just definitely continue to put that love back into yourself, put time into yourself. And like I said, when it comes down to like investing in certain things, it can be a skill, it can be your looks, which brings me to, if you want to feel good about yourself, you gotta look good. It is inwardly, but sometimes we might have to start outwardly until we feel it inwardly. And we can work on the end. Nobody really sees the inwardly until you start projecting it out. And you know, we already working on that inwardly, but of course on the outside, we want to come across like we the ish every time. And so that leads me to like, you know, invest in how you want to be perceived on outwardly. So if you have like a certain style that you want to rock, or you want to try different styles, do so. You want your hair to be flawless, you want to try different looks, go ahead and put it out there. Put the money in and do it. Right now, I'm not necessarily used to wearing wigs and honestly trying to do my hair all the time. Like, I don't, but I invested in like a couple wigs. That's why you didn't see me in the last 3 videos with something different because it took time to invest in, you know, my hair so I can feel good, and also it's quick and easy. These are glueless. I'm gonna have a video on that soon about affording new wigs, so stay tuned for that. But you know, start with things that you like. If that's a struggle area for you, then you like, I want to improve in that area, do so. Don't try to compare yourself and be like, I want to be like her. You can have stuff or have people for inspiration, but don't idolize them. Okay, at the end of the day, they're human, and you only need to be the best self, your best self. You feel me? Like, don't be trying to be like someone so and have her body and have her this and have her blah 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 blah, or have his X, Y, and Z. No, all you need to do is be the best you, and that's it. That's all you need to compete with. That's all you need to compare to. Who you were yesterday, last year, 2 minutes ago, whatever. It's you versus you. You feel me? And when it comes down, like I said, when it comes down to certain things, just take the time into you. If that comes to clothing wise, you know, save some money so that you can have the wardrobe that you're looking for, and buy stuff here and there. Hair, budget for it. You want to take a trip because you see a lifestyle that you want, go ahead and do so. If it is a specific skill that you're trying to improve in, I would say take the time into investing in that. Because even when it comes down to, say it's not like an outward appearance, say you got that on lock, you like, I do this, and it's more so inward. Video cut off for a second. Say it's more so inward. Say your confidence is more, you need more confidence, or you need to build self-esteem and like your intelligence, or like just a certain skill that you would just like to be better in. Take the time to do it. I know for me, and I only said intelligence because that was one of my things, because I grew up like, struggle bus when it came down to reading. And it only took until I remember in 5th grade that I took time out and was reading dang near all summer. Came back, took the little SRI test or whatever else, and then I was, at the time, I think I was in 5th grade, and I was reading at a high school level. And because I was teased around that time, like I still have like the negative effects of that. But what I do to affirm myself in a situation or in that category is to continue reading, continuing to build my knowledge on that specific thing that might be a flaw or a struggle with, so that when people come around and say they do say something about my intelligence or anything of that sort, that's something they can't take from me. Because like, nah, I know X, Y, and Z. I know X, blah, 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 and X, Y, and Z, and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what it comes down to. And that's really how you know that you have confidence or you are improving in a certain area, when, say, the thing that was making you defensive or just offended in general, or you just like, oh, just nervous about, when that thing stops being something you're defensive about, or like if somebody say something like, oh, you not smart and blah 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 blah, and you just like, okay, type of thing, like you start having that attitude, like, all right, like, then that's how you know that you have grown in that area, that you can check that off your list of like, oh, I got it in that area. Because that's really how you know that you got it and whatever. So I say keep that in mind when you are developing skills or trying to improve on certain things. And what doing skills, even to say you got certain skills on lock, what building other skills does to yourself, it just makes you just more of a powerhouse in yourself. Like, oh, you might have thought, okay, I was good in this area, but I didn't branch out to another area. Now I got this to add to my bag, and now I got this to add to my bag. And you become more confident in like a certain area. Like, okay, I'm an artist. I am good at drawing. I got that in my bag. Oh, I'm not as good as painting or whatever else, though I do paintings and I instruct painting tips. Oh, let me take classes in X, Y, and Z so that I can have all of that and add it to my bag. I'm pretty good at it, but let me go ask for some help or have some classes I can take so I can just be better. And the goal is to be better. So, just set realistic goals around certain things so that you can improve in certain areas, so that when, like I said, somebody come and try to be like, you can't do X, Y, and Z, or your own self say you can't do X, Y, and Z, you got stuff to back it up because you already did X, Y, and Z, and you've been doing X, Y, and Z. And then when it's time to prove it, it's just gonna come out because you know how to do X, Y, and Z. So, which also leads me to go into, like I've already said, setting goals and like challenge yourself and developing the skills, but continue to work on getting out of your comfort zone. And I know a lot of us like to stay in our comfort zone. And like I just was saying, if you continue to practice in a certain area, then you will gain confidence in that particular area and see all that you are able to do. For me, even in being on camera, to be honest, like this is something that I am not comfortable doing. Just be point blank period. I struggle with public speaking. And what did I do? A couple times I didn't sign myself up for things that make me have to speak publicly. And all through the process, I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm scared. Like, I don't want to do any of this. But I also know that it's something that I need to go to the next level. I need to do these things and get to a better point in this, because if I can get over this, then can't nothing really stop me, to be honest. And when it comes down to public speaking, I still get jittery inside. It's still there. It has died down a lot, but it still comes back up. And before, if I could get a video of me talking or whatever, voice would be shaking. I would be shaking. Now I'm at the point where my voice don't necessarily shake. I might shake, But you can definitely, most people, what I've asked them, they like, oh, I can't hear the nervousness and whatever else. And that's what kind of happens when you start practicing and you becoming better at a certain topic, because the things you were scared that people would see about you, that you like, oh, if that happens, then this, or whatever doubts don't become a thing. And you don't necessarily realize it at first, but some people do, and eventually you do, and you start checking things off your box. So continue to challenge yourself. Oh, another thing that you can also add to what goes into like looks and whatnot, that forgot a little bit, but make sure when it comes down to looks that you are faking it. You might have to fake it till you make it. I know that's something that I hate saying, and I hate being like, you gotta fake it because I would just like to be, and now why I gotta fake how I'm feeling, and da 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 da. Yes and no, but you kind of do to a certain extent. I guess the mindset would be just more so, not necessarily faking it, but like more so claiming it until it happens, if that's a better thought process, because that's a lot of what I'm doing on the regular. And even when it comes down to just doing simple things, as far as like walking with my head high and not looking at the ground, or fixing my posture so that I come off like, okay, she here, she there, she got something to say, or making eye contact with people. That is something I struggle with. Even on this camera, I didn't went here, then come back to y'all. So I know a person is probably like, what? So definitely when it comes down to those simple things, those make you come off like, oh, she about her business. That's so-and-so is on that, and she know what she about to say. And you might not even know what you about to say. You might stumble, and that's okay, because you human. And when you realize and you get comfortable with like, I'm going to make a mistake, and being comfortable like, hey, if it happens, what is the worst thing that can happen out of this situation? And you figure out what the worst thing is, and it's like, is that something that is likely to happen, or is it something you can overcome if it did happen? What can you do if it does happen, type of thing. And that's how a lot of, when it comes down to reframing your mind, that's how you get out of certain things, and that's how you become better in certain situations, because it's like, oh, this is the worst thing that can happen. Oh, they can laugh, but even if they did laugh, I ain't gotta see him no more. I ain't gotta talk to him no more. After this, we done. Part ways. Oh, if I trip and roll down the stairs in front of everybody, I ain't gotta see him no more. I wake up, and that's that. Even if they were the type that recorded something or whatever, it's on camera, and sometimes you just gotta laugh at yourself. Like, own it. That's really what it comes down to. Own it and be like, I did that. And once you get comfortable with trying to own certain things about you, that's when it shifts. That's when a lot of things just like, oh yeah, I did that. And you dealt with that behind the scenes, and you like, okay. And who that gonna bother? Not me. So another thing that you can do is practice being assertive and like setting boundaries. That can be hard for the people pleasers. I too have been a people pleaser in different situations, and sometimes not proud of it. Honestly, probably none of the times I'm not proud of it, but that's something I have worked on constantly, because at a certain point you get tired of saying yes to certain things, and you get tired of trying to accommodate for things or people, especially when they're not doing things for you, and you like, oh, you feel like you're getting pushed over and whatnot, and at a certain point you like, enough is enough. And that might be the case for you. So if you are that person, sorry, my eyelash, you are that person that needs help in that area, definitely start setting boundaries and start practicing saying no to certain things and speaking up for yourself. That's really what it comes down to. You don't want to appear to be a certain way. You want to put your foot down on certain things so that so-and-so don't step over you, so that you don't be taken as a joke, or you don't be taken as whatever way you conjured in your mind. Your best thing is to put yourself first. Just put yourself first in the situation and care for you a little bit more than you would care for somebody else. I'm not saying to overall be selfish and take that in the context of like, I'm always me. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just when it comes down to in your inner, you got that inner voice that want to say no to certain things. It is okay to say no. So if you got to, like, people always want to like, oh, let's hang out, let's do X, Y, and Z, and you always on go, but you need to rest. You tired. It's okay to say that. It's to say, so-and-so, I ain't gonna make it today. I ain't gonna make it to this one. I'm not gonna make it today. I need to rest. If they feel some type of way, they ain't somebody you really need to be with. Or you could just say, I have a previous engagement. They ain't gotta know that you set out a time for you in your alone time during this time frame. You could just say, I got a previous engagement. It's blocked off in my calendar. And let that be that. They ain't gotta know that, because you're not lying. You about to have a you time at your house with your wine or juice or water, whatever you prefer. And you about to just, indulge in yourself, or you about to try some food out for yourself, or whatever else. Like, it's okay. Say you got other plans. Say or just be real and be like, I'm tired. Your real friends will get it. Now, I'm not saying you got to use that excuse every time. I'm not saying you got to be every event. You got to be like, no. But just for a good, majority, if you really feeling like this ain't it type thing, then, like I said, your real friends will get it. So put those things in place. Speak up for yourself in different areas. And just practice it. It's not an overnight thing. None of this stuff is overnight. Like I said, it's a muscle. So you're going to have to keep building. You're going to have to keep working on certain things. And when you do have a W in those certain things, celebrate. A win is a win. Okay? However it come out, whether that's big or small, a win is a win. And you need to celebrate you, because you did that. Small victories, we celebrate them over here. You feel me? So definitely do that. Sorry, I'm trying to check off what I say. As far as also to build confidence and say to continue practicing on certain things, if you need to seek somebody professionally to help you gain confidence in certain area or industry, or just about yourself, then it's okay to definitely do that. And by that, I mean, if you need to get a mentor in your field of studies, then, or whatever you're doing, then, so be it. Or some type of coach, life coach or whatever, to get you to that level, then so be it. Or even get yourself, if it's more so just inward things and some things you're trying to improve on, so it doesn't hold you back in that certain area. And you can build confidence in that, oh, I got this, or that trauma don't bother me anymore, or that, then get a therapist. It's okay to get a therapist. I have a therapist. I know multiple people that have one, and it has been very beneficial for them. And I know it can be hard financially, but I know there's different ways and better help. Maybe if you have insurance through your job, then maybe you can look through your insurance network, or online. There might be workshops around your city that might do something specifically for your mental health. to, help you cope through different things. And if you need to do that, then, so be it. Seek that help, because you like to spend time on all the like physical things and whatever else. And we'll go to the doctor for X, Y, and Z, but we won't do anything to check our minds and make sure we are mentally okay. And if that's the thing that's going to help us get to the next level, that blockage, then so be it. So definitely get into that. And I should have started with this first, but definitely acknowledging the different strengths. I guess that would go into, that positive talk, but acknowledging your different strengths. I know a lot of times we like to focus on the weakness, and that is okay to do, as far as like if you're trying to get like a list of certain things, and just to like be aware of yourself. And I do that sometimes, but you can't focus on your weakness. Or you can list the strengths so that you know that, like, okay, I am good at X, Y, and Z, and I am good at so-and-so, and I'm good at X and 1, 2, 3, and blah, 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 blah. And as far as your weakness, you take that as a thing to just put time in to be better in, which goes with like the skills that you are trying to develop. That's what you use that for. But that's not for you to focus on and be like, if I was ever good at softball, the world would be just a rounder place, and I wouldn't have to worry about none of that. None of the obstacles. Like, no. Like, that's not how you're supposed to go about that. So make the list. But again, even with trying to be better in your weaknesses, don't forget that you do have those strengths, and you continue to be better in those strengths. And sometimes your strengths can be the things that people are looking for and need. And it can work that way into your business. It can, if you were trying to do a business, or just in your everyday life. I know for me, I have an artistic creative strength. I have a business around it. Most people, that's not their business. That's not their thing. Some people could be public speaking. They like to talk all the time. Maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need to be that motivational speaker somewhere and talk to whomever about whatever. Maybe, I don't know, but like, maybe you, even then within that weakness, and say, this is kind of getting off topic, but like, say within that weakness, you got your strength in this, maybe you need to find somebody to help you into that strength, into that weakness is a strength. And like, oh, you can just take notes on that person, and maybe they good at the business side, but you just creative, and you like, how you do that, blah, 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 which is kind of currently me. And you just need to like shadow them so that it can rise up and they could be equal, or just continue to be better in different areas. Let's see, make sure that if you need to ask people about your certain strengths and weakness, make sure you are if you need to ask people about those certain strengths and weaknesses, make sure you're getting it from a loving but real source. Because you don't want too many yes men in your corner, and you don't want people that's negative because of their own little experience, and then they putting all that on you. Like, nah. When you do go to those different people, I would say take those things, or take what they say, acknowledge it, take what you can from it, but also like treat it as a grain of salt, because it is just their opinion, and everybody got an opinion. And if you feel like, okay, maybe a couple people didn't say this about me, it's quite possible that it could be true, or that's just how you're coming off, but not necessarily meaning to. So maybe find another way. It's okay to ask for different things, or how they might go about certain things, or how it's coming off, or whatever else, so that you can always show your best foot forward. But like I said, if it's something that you don't agree with, and you just like, that ain't even me, you ain't got to accept that. At the end of the day, you can let it be what it is, and keep about keep about your life. Because at the end of the day, whose opinion really matters? Yours. Nobody else's. It's your world. That's as simple as it is. Just remember to focus on progress and not perfection. And like I said earlier in the video, you only need to be the best version of you. And that's all you need to focus on. And don't think you about to have it overnight, because it don't necessarily work like that. But, you know, keep praying on different things and keep trying to, you know, just improve in general. Most importantly, I would say the thing that would probably help me the most out of all of this is just keeping God in my plans, in how I see things, and me building that relationship with God. That was probably the biggest thing that helped me to raise the confidence to a certain level. Because one, I started seeing how he sees me. I started believing that, like, okay, he has me in certain areas, or in all areas. Well, I'm saying certain, in all areas. So if I do mess up in certain things, it's all according to his little plan. And the quote that makes me like feel so much better about life, it's like, and I might say it wrong, but it's like God already calculated for your stupidity. And that was just the most, I don't know, the thing that just made me feel so much more at ease about things. Like, oh, he already knew I'm about to make some mistakes in this life, and it's already accounted for in my path. It ain't me. I won't be steered off X, Y, and Z if I go about it this way instead of just going straight through the way he wanted me to. So it's already calculated. He already know what it's gonna do, and that gives me confidence to be like, okay, I can go through this. Whatever decision that I wanted to make or was not confident in making, it will be made right by me following him and corrected as I keep following him. And that's just something that for believers in Christ, that things start shifting and things start moving and your eyes start opening up to different things, because you see how God is moving on behind you, and you like, you know, that's my Father, we locked in, you feel me? So like, what I got to be fearful of, what I got to be ashamed of, what I got to be scared about? Nothing, because my Father got it at the end of the day. And I'm gonna be good with or without y'all. It's me and him to the very end, okay? So yeah, I think that is it. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say in this video. It's longer than I wanted to be. It's a terrible song. Anyway, stay tuned for another video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm gonna start throwing certain things in upcoming videos so that, you know, we can get some more interaction, and it might be prizes, and it might be, you know, little things here and there. I don't know, but you know, stay tuned for the video. Make sure you watch it, make sure you see it all the way through, and comment amongst the community, and you know, let's continue to grow together. You feel me? So until next time, it's your girl Cece, and we out. Bye.
You can trust in me. I can. You said I can trust in you.